Hello and welcome back to the beta patch, which is 1.3.0, and this will be the one that comes out with War Sales when it's eventually released. So, as you can see right here, we have another random event. I want to try to show you as many of these as possible so that we can potentially get an idea how many there actually are. As far as I'm aware, we've gone through, I'm not entirely sure how many so far, probably what, 25, 20, 25, 30, I don't know, something like that. Anyway, as you see here, as you leave the village, a merchant who clearly wants your approval shouts out, Regea has slain his thousand... Wait. His? Regea has slain his thousands, but Bruce his tens of thousands? I'm not entirely sure what... not entirely sure what he means here. This is a little bit strange. Maybe this fellow is talking about God's creations or something along those lines. That's why he's saying his thousands, potentially. I don't know. Maybe there's a little bit of a, I don't know, weird thing going on here. I have, and it is, but an appetite whetter before the main meal. I actually have no idea. Yeah, it must be a religious thing. Must be talking about that. All I have done has been in the service of Monchug. I am but his will made flesh. And any blood I have shed may have been necessary, but I hope that heaven will forgive me. And acknowledge him by howling like an animal and swirling your weapon about, as mad behavior makes for good stories. So, yes, it's basically just about our ability to kill many people. Apparently, even though we haven't really done that often, but quite funny actually that it says. I mean, I'm gonna assume that they don't actually mean Regea as his, because obviously that doesn't make sense. But I'm gonna assume, as I said before, it's like God's men or God's creation, blah, blah, sort of thing like that. I guess that's what's going on here. Anyway. Let's see what we can actually go for here. I have, and it is, but an appetite whetter before the main meal. We could go for that, and that gives us 20 renown, which would actually be pretty decent, hilariously enough. Surprisingly enough, as you can see here, the howling like an animal apparently gets us 20 renown as well. I don't really want to decrease relationship with anyone. I don't really want to increase my reputation for being cruel. So I'm going to increase reputation for being impulsive. And we're just going to go with that. And that's going to get us 20 renown. I feel like, you know, it's quite funny. I feel like we should be getting something else for the third option here. Any blood I've shed may have been necessary, but I hope that heaven will forgive me. I think this, I mean, I know that there isn't really like a wisdom stat or any kind of like, you know, smart kind of thing going on here. But it would be pretty cool if we'd get something similar to that. Maybe even just giving us a little bit of renown, just for having a slightly, I don't know, slightly, shall we say, intellectual answer, I guess. Anyway, let's do this. 20 renown. There we go. 20 renown sounds not too bad to me. And we're going to increase our reputation a little bit. And we'll hopefully be able to, hopefully be able to do some pretty cool things. As you can see, there is actually another person from the same clan as Oros, and I would like, you know, I'm gonna say it, alright? I'm gonna say it. I feel like with the introduction of the stealth system, I feel like what would have been very cool to actually put in here as well is an ambush system. I know someone did mention this a number of, well, I don't even know, a number of months ago, and maybe more recently as well. I think it was a different person this time. So it must be a, a popular thought in the consciousness of the community. And I myself have obviously thought of it too, but I don't know. I'm not sure if it's really going to work. I think it would definitely work if we had the opportunity to create distractions at the same time. What I'm mostly talking about, obviously, is, for example, creating a distraction like setting a village on fire. You know, we can technically already do that to a degree. So, setting a village on fire, I mean, I think we can actually do that in Warband. I don't know whether we can do that here, to be honest, which is actually quite funny. But, yeah, let's actually just take a look. Ooh. This guy is looking a little bit strong. He, hilariously enough, has a lot of cavalry, which, as you know, is probably not that bad. We don't really need to worry about that. Alright, so it's time for us to go in here against these guys. Let's see how we do. Now, obviously, this is a pretty good location for our archers, because you see here, the trees kind of give us a bit of a framing, a bit of a bottleneck, and hopefully that's going to give us a good opportunity to shoot our enemies before they even have the opportunity to get over here. So let's actually just see what's going on. Okay, so they are seemingly making their way towards us, which is perfect. I think they are, at least. Are they? Yes. A little bit. Let me see. Yeah, are they just gonna... Are they just gonna hold fire? I mean, hold position? That's pretty bad. Alright, well, looks as though we will have to move. Not a terribly big fan of that, especially considering we're gonna have to move our archers into the forest. It's not really gonna... Oh, actually, wait a minute. This might be much better than anticipated. Let's get our infantry over here as well. Okay, oh, wait. Oh, no. Are you serious? Oh, dear. Yes, well, that's what happens when I do the speed up, isn't it? Yes. Oh, well, never mind. Okay, let's see if our forces are actually gonna have a decent time here, then, because, you know, I really wanted to actually fight in this one. It would have been a lot of fun, actually, to do that. Yeah, we're losing a lot of our people because, let's face it, the enemy has some really, really good, as I said to you, he has some really good horsemen. Very, very good horsemen. Let's hope that my horse archers are not going to do that really annoying thing where they just go in and randomly get themselves killed, and our archers are just going to stand back. It does look as though that is a thing that tends to happen with the auto-delegate resolve sort of thing when we have our AI in control, which is not exactly great. Thankfully, we are getting a lot of kills, and I think we should be absolutely fine, but definitely losing way too many people right here. Way, way, way too many people, but yeah, well, never mind, it's okay. Don't really have to worry about that. Generally, anytime we get any sort of loss like this, you could just look to me, you know, you could just look to me, because that is generally my fault. That was totally my fault, and I am more than happy to take responsibility for that, because I was thinking to myself, these guys are just going to stand there. They're just going to stand there. They're not going to bother coming towards us. But no, they actually did, in the end, decide to do that, which is hilarious. They always kind of do that sort of thing, don't they? Anyway, let's see if we can do this. Is there anything else that I want to get? No, I don't think so, right? No. We've got some pretty good armor on now, actually. All I really want to do is probably get to a marketplace and actually try to see if I can purchase something really good. The question is, where do we want to go? Let's go over to Odok, shall we? Actually, you know what? You know what I want to really want to do? I'm going to go back to Botanian territory and actually recruit some nobles. Alright, so I basically decided, you know what, I'm not going to go back to Botanian territory, and instead I'm literally just going to go over to Khuzait instead, and literally just get some people from the noble villages there, because we are just so much closer, and I wanted to kind of, you know, slightly more pivot towards using cavalry here, and obviously the thing is, we obviously need to level these guys up. We need to level these guys up pretty dramatically, so getting into more battles is definitely going to be the way to go. Now, if I could level up my two-handed skill, I'd be very, very pleased about that. I know I was actually, I was trying to be a duelist in this particular series, which is actually hilarious, considering I kind of went over to my preferred style of play, which is generally using a big two-handed, thrown weapons, being on a horse, you know, all that sort of thing. Just generally because it's just so fun, you know? It's so fun to be on a horse and literally do these wide, sweeping attacks and getting multiple kills, just running into enemy lines. It's always really, really enjoyable to do that, obviously, when you survive. So let's see if we can actually make sure that we survive this time around as well. Let's just... Oh, yeah, we're on this battlefield again. I have no idea why there are these things. Why are the... I mean, yeah, sure, I know that these are literal tree stumps, but why are they so thin, first of all? And why are they exactly the same height, every single one of them? And why are there so many of them in such a sporadic fashion placed all over? It doesn't really make much sense to me, but generally... The reason for it is just to be annoying, I'm pretty sure, you know. Just to literally be annoying. Make sure that your always running into these things over and over again when you're running around on your mount, because you can barely see it in comparison to the grass. I mean, look at this one right here. Look at that. That was very, very well camouflaged in the grass there. Anyway, my wonderful, wonderful complaints notwithstanding, because they're not going to change that. There's no way. There's no way these small little objects are going to be removed from this environment. They obviously did that on purpose for some unknown reason. But yeah, anyway, let's move on and see if we can actually shoot our opponents. I am going to tell these guys to go into a skirmish so that we can start to get them some much needed experience, and I'll hopefully be able to eliminate. Ooh, yes. I'm not used to the speed of this thing. Not very much used to the speed, the timing of the swing on the Bardiche right now. I'm gonna have to be a little bit more careful with that. Okay, here we go. My skirmishers are coming in. That's fantastic. Let's tell these guys to charge in. Tell these guys to charge in as well. I'm gonna leave the horse archers skirmishing right now. Oh, that was a decent-ish hit, but could have been a lot better. Nice. There we go. Alright, that's what I'm talking about. That kind of thing is exactly what I'm talking about. That is what we need. And yeah, as you can quite clearly tell, this is the kind of aggressive action you need to take if you are going to get any kills. And that's the reason why the AI generally tends to be subpar when it comes to taking over command, because it doesn't really do that. I mean, you saw that in the previous battle. We had a situation where we ideally would have been completely fine, but obviously I died, so, you know, the AI took over. But generally, if the AI had any semblance of competence in that situation, it would have been able to ascertain, yeah, I need to charge in here. I need to charge in here. I need to, you know, take the initiative and actually do the damage that needs to be done. And yeah, unfortunately, that was not the case in that situation. So yeah, we had a bit of a problem there, but it's okay. It did give us an opportunity to sort of pivot a little bit more over towards the other things, you know, pivot over towards the other kinds of characters. And yeah, by the way, you know how I actually put some stuff on Pelisor last time? Yeah, unfortunately for me, I actually did not save previously. So yeah, we are going to have to get him some new stuff, because unfortunately that was not that was not confirmed. Or, you know, we could just go into another vassal battle here and we could just try our luck at getting some loot from them and maybe equipping him that way. I'm not that close to a town right now. I'm kind of in enemy territory on the border between the two factions, so I kind of have to be a little bit resourceful in that respect, and we have to be a bit careful maybe not to get ourselves murdered by the army that has over 600 troops nearby. So if I can, let's see. I mean, this guy's got a decent amount of people. Look at him. He's got 136. Technically, he should have a very nice chance of being able to, you know, achieve victory against us here. I'm actually not entirely sure. Are we even in a position? You know, we might be in a position to create our own faction soon. We might be able to do that, which would be pretty fun. I'd like to try out some of the, you know, kingdom management stuff, see if that actually has like a big impact on things, because obviously the projects, the town projects and stuff like that, they've all been overhauled and changed in some way or another, and I'd like to try those out in a more fleshed out fashion and actually see in real gameplay if that is going to be, well, somewhat useful or somewhat impactful. I don't know whether it will be, so that's the reason why I'd kind of like to do that. We're otherwise just going to let our forces skirmish here. And I'll bring out my my thrown weapons, and I will try to do some... well, unfortunate that I missed that. That would have been very, very good if we had actually hit. Now our forces are going to be completely useless once again, aren't they? Or maybe not, maybe not. Oh, no, they're actually doing well. Look at that. They're actually doing very, very well. Look at that. Okay, so the skirmish actually worked really, really nicely here because the opponent decided to start charging. That's the reason why the skirmish was actually working really, really nicely here, as well as the fact that apparently we didn't have any infantry. Did we not have any infantry in that situation? Because it felt to me like our infantry were not even anywhere close by, which made a huge difference, actually. Okay, so yeah, let's take some more people here. I'm just going to take some more high-tier units, and then we're going to make our way over to the... hello. Yes, make our way over to the nearby town, but we're going to be giving him some stuff, of course. There we go. Decent-ish things. Actually, not bad. Not bad stuff. Obviously, his chess piece could definitely use a massive upgrade, and we are going to try to get him something. Right, so we're not really getting anything super amazing here. I mean, this is obviously much better for him. It is giving him a kind of a pretty nice protection. Unfortunately, not exactly great. We could give him this as well, which is slightly better. And the rest of it, yeah, we don't really need to spend that much on this. And indeed, we can now start to sell some of our sumpter horses, because I think we're having a herding problem again, are we? No, almost. I think we are almost having a herding problem. As you can see, I don't actually have any animals. I know some people mentioned that animals do contribute to the herding problem. And yeah, I know that. But yeah, I have been taking care of it by making sure that we are selling them off when we have the opportunity to do so. And otherwise, that does seem to be about it. I mean, I might be able to get him some... well, does he have polearm skill? Does he actually have decent polearm skill or something like that? No, he has one-handed. His polearm skill is okay, not great. So I think what we'll do is we'll probably sell this, and we'll get him something decent. Let's get him a long saber or something like that. Does he have good riding skill, by the way? No, 24 riding skill, so we'll keep him on his feet. And I think we'll give him some thrown weapons, because obviously he's really, really good at that. Should we give him a sling, actually? Considering that is thrown, those are thrown weapons. Let's give him a sling, and let's try that out, because obviously I didn't like the sling. Okay, I did not like the sling one bit. We do have some harpoons here, so I'm actually going to buy 2 harpoons, just in case this absolutely sucks for him. And we're then going to, you know, swap it out, and that's going to be relatively nice. At least I hope so. Now, let's see. What else can we do? Well, the one thing that we could do right now is... I think we should probably go over to Razich. I think that is probably going to be our best bet for maybe a potential kingdom creation. I'm not sure whether we're going to have the opportunity to even go in there and actually survive, because, you know, generally it does require the player to survive the siege in a, you know, big way, unless you are just having an army that is much, much more powerful than your opponent. But yeah, we'll see. Anyway, what do I want to do here? I'm thinking riding skill right now. Yes, we'll probably do that. Two-handed is still doing absolutely fine. I do need to level up my athletic skill, as I said, so that I can get that last point in endurance as well as vigor. Those are going to be extremely important for us. Let's go for some more intelligence, because I would like to start leveling up my medicine skill more, and generally medicine skill is almost 75. Once we get to 75, you will see how powerful it is to level up medicine skill with Doctor's Oath. Ah, yes, we've got another one. Yes, we've got a wonderful, wonderful battle on our hands here. This is obviously going to be this is a minor faction, right? This is a minor faction guy. So, you know, generally if we can let him go, we might be able to get some pretty nice benefits from that. Obviously, the thing is, this guy is not going to be that difficult for us. Oh, yeah, it's this battlefield again. I really do not like this battlefield. This is probably one of my least favorite ones, just purely because it has these small little obstacles in the ground. I still have no idea why that would even be a thing. But, yeah, it's very annoying, you know. It is extremely annoying to have those things there. I can't believe I actually hit someone with that, but alright, okay. But yeah, we are just going to move our forces ahead here. Let's tell these guys to go into a nice little skirmish. And hopefully my guys will be able to start shooting. Maybe they will. And there's the fellow, he's dead. Alright, yeah, so we don't really need to worry about him anymore. And yeah, my infantry are obviously trying to run away from the opponent here, because otherwise they're going to get themselves clobbered, because they are literally so incredibly outnumbered right here. Let's tell these guys, are they actually charging in? I think we just need everyone to charge right now. For some reason, I'm not entirely sure why my... I don't know why my archers actually decide to go over this way. Why did they go over this way? This is so extremely weird. Why did they stand over there? Because I told them to actually just hold position in sort of like the center area of the battlefield, but they went off to the side somehow. I don't know why they would do that, but... You know, that's how they are sometimes. It's kind of strange. Am I going to get shot in the face here? Nope. I had a feeling. I was going to get shot in the face. Okay, yeah, so now these guys, technically, I am telling them to charge, as you can see. Now they're charging, or now they're not? Now they are? I don't know. They seem to just be kind of standing there. I mean, the thing is, technically, when you tell archers to charge... What they're going to do is they're going to move forward a little bit, then they're going to shoot, and then they're going to reload while they're moving forward, and then they're going to just rinse and repeat that action over and over again. And if they do have any enemy get into sort of melee range, they'll switch to their melee weapons, of course. A little bit more dynamic than if you were to tell them to hold position. Hold position is a bit more, you know, well, as you might expect, static. You know, they're just going to stand there. But... charging has really actually made a huge difference to me in a lot of different battles. I know, not a lot of people think that charging with archers is a good idea, but it is actually much more effective than you think. Alright, so let's actually let him go. As I said before, we will do that. I did not sell my prisoners. Yeah, well, that's obviously a problem, isn't it? But it's okay. Hopefully, ooh, we got some new horse armor. That's actually not too bad. We also got some harpoons. Look at that. That's actually hilarious. Okay, yeah, so there's probably not going to be anything here for anyone. Alright, so we just sold, and as you see here, singing for supper, a strolling minstrel offers to compose an epic ballad about your heroic deeds, potentially increasing your renown for a little amount of coin. Do you accept his offer, and if so, do you offer him any guidance on what to sing? Alright, so this is obviously fantastic. This is one of those times where I personally believe that these kinds of events are actually going to provide you with something you genuinely want. And also the reason why I'm not entirely sure what these traits actually do. Because if they do something, it's obviously going to be very important to have them, right? So, you know, being able to say, oh yes, my character is merciful. So my character now has access to whatever thing it is, you know what I mean? Whereas at the moment, I have no idea what it's supposed to do, right? Anyway, let's have a look here. Oh, whoa, wait a minute, look at this. This is crazy. Yeah, so this is actually pretty amazing. So, pretty much, as you see here, you can obviously read these if you so desire. The third option is obviously the one that I'm going to be going with because I have way too much gold as it is, and me gaining 20 renown and 200 influence is insane. And the reason why this is insane is because obviously I'm a mercenary, you see. And influence is converted every single day into money. Oh yes. So I will be taking that, and he should feel free to embellish the story as he sees fit. There we go. So we now have 250 influence, and we are, as you can no doubt tell, we are going to be getting so much cash from this. It's actually going to be insane. We are really going to be making, yes, as you saw there, look at that, 10,000. I opened up another window and it completely oh no, there it is. There you go. So as you can see right there, daily gold change 10,000. Yeah, that's exactly what I'm talking about. You literally get so much cash from that, because you think about, I mean, obviously they're probably going to change this, you know, thinking about it right now, it's probably going to get changed because it's way too, you know what, I'm not going to say anything. It's actually way too underpowered. Wink, wink. It's way too underpowered about this. So I'm thinking what we have to do is just make sure that it stays exactly how it is. It doesn't need to be changed in any way, to be honest. It's really, really good, you know. It's perfectly fine as it is. No necessity to change any of the values whatsoever. I have a bad feeling about it now. But yes, hopefully it's not going to get changed. But, you know, if it does, then I'm sorry. It's probably my fault. I guess. That kind of thing's happened before. Let's not talk about it. Alright, so anyway, let's move on over here. Let's go over to the archers and see if we can actually do something where the enemy... Ooh, this is a great battlefield. Wow, this is crazy good. Okay, let's actually get these people over here. Horse archers, actually, I need you to go and skirmish immediately so that we then, you know, they can buy a little bit of time for us. If they can buy some time for us, we're going to have a great time here. This is going to be absolutely amazing. So let's get our forces into position. Let's put them into a loose formation, first of all, as well. And bear in mind, obviously, we're only fighting against an army of 102, so it shouldn't be super, super dramatic. But obviously, I want to try to eliminate as many people in this area as possible because I am planning on creating my faction here. So it would be cool if we could make that work. Okay, my archers are doing decently. How are my actual archers doing? Let's move them a little bit forward here. Oh, wow. Okay, that was actually a really nice shot. That was a really, really nice shot. I was moving from, you know, side to side, basically, so it's very, very difficult for archers to actually nail a hit on you, but apparently this guy had me locked down somehow. Pretty crazy how he was able to do that, but as you can see, we're losing basically no one. My medicine skill is actually finally, apparently, paying off a little bit. It's not really doing amazingly, but it's all cool. It's all cool because we actually only lost a handful of people. Really, not anything super bad. 28 influence for us. 11 renown. Gonna let her go. And the question is, do we want to fight against the Azurai, or do we want to fight against the Southern Empire? Those are the options. Those are the options that we have available to us. And the question is, what do we want to do? Because the thing is, I thought Razih would be the best course of action, so that means I would have to leave the Southern Empire, which would be, well, not great. Maybe, I don't know, maybe... Oh, wow, actually, never mind. Razih is actually extremely difficult. Yeah, no, it's actually much more difficult than anticipated. Technically, what I could do is I could go in and buy food at the marketplace here. But I would need to leave beforehand. I would need to leave the Southern Empire beforehand to be able to do that. So that's a little bit... not a terribly big fan of that, you know. Not really very good. We might... you know what? Okay, let's actually see something real fast. Okay, food stock. Wool level 1. Yeah, this might actually be better. We might be able to get a better situation here, but what I do need to do first of all is I need to actually see something. I need to see very, very carefully here. Let me just see. Am I having a herding problem just yet? I think I will be having a herding problem soon. So I need to be a bit careful on that. But yeah, we need to check the diplomacy screen. So clearly, as you can tell, the Khuzait are actually winning, surprisingly enough. I'm not entirely sure how that's even happened, but apparently they're winning against the Southern Empire. Northern Empire are currently paying a tribute to the Khuzait, which is funny. And then the Azurai, they are at war against the Western Empire, and clearly the Azurai are winning this. So the question is, do we want to wage war, a one-man war, against the Azurai? The question is that even possible? It might be. If we take Hubyar, it's all the way down here. Oh, actually, wait a minute. We could take this one instead. Huh. That is actually not a bad idea. If I were to take this, it's all the way out in the middle of nowhere. It's going to take Azurai vassals a very, very long time to get over. Because the thing is, the reason why I was going to Razih, because I thought to myself, okay, I'm going to go over there because it's been taken by the Southern Empire. So I expected it to have a smaller, smaller garrison. Maybe the food stocks haven't been replenished yet. You know, all that wonderful stuff that actually makes it slightly easier for us in the long run. But no, none of that stuff actually transpired because apparently they took it a long time ago. So this now gives me an opportunity. So, let's go. I'm going to attack her straight away. Yeah, the amount of times that we have gotten instantly killed is absolutely staggering. I'm actually not entirely sure why that's even happening, to be honest. Because some of the time, yeah, sure, I'm running in and I'm, you know, getting myself murdered by someone with a polearm, or I'm just straight running in and just getting murdered in general. But other times I just get shot out of the middle of nowhere, and it's just like, well, there you go. You know, sometimes that's just how it is, because you do take massive amounts of damage sometimes. All right, so what we're gonna do is we're gonna just buy absolutely every single piece of food that these fellows have, and then, well, then are these guys working for the Azurai? They are patrolling around it, so I'm assuming that they are working for them, because if they are working for them, that means we are going to have to fight them. So I will have to get rid of some of this food. There we go. Okay, so... Right. So let's have a look here. I'm going to have to go in against these guys right now. The question is, do I need to fight them right now? No. See, that's the thing. It is not possible. It's not possible for me to do that. So what I'm going to do is we're going to wait one more day, and then we are going to launch our attack against these fellows right here. Obviously, these are minor factions, right? These are both minor faction fellows, but they are going to attack me. Both of them will attack me if I decide to besiege the town, if they are allied with the Azurai, which I think they probably are. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to shadow this guy for the moment. And there we go. Okay, we've just gotten our last wage. I'm not going to actually. I'm not going to wait for the rest, because it's just like 800 and stuff like that. So it's not really going to provide us with a huge amount. So we are now going to literally attack. There we go. We're going to be attacking these guys, and we are just going to get them out of the way, because I'm pretty sure, considering they're patrolling around the Azurai, it's very, very likely that they are allied with them, or shall we say, in the employ of the Azurai. So let's see what we can do here. Just gonna place these fellows here. This guy might actually take the offensive, because he may very well believe that he has the advantage, or not. Okay, well, I was kind of hopeful. I was kind of like, you know, crossing my fingers a little bit, just being like, oh yeah, you know what, actually, we got a really, really nice river here. The opponent is potentially going to cross over, and it's going to be great and super fun. No. Of course not. No, of course not. Okay. Forward! You know, I'm going to say it, I feel like the AI perplexes me sometimes, and it's not even, you know, it's so funny as well, because just look at what's happening right here. I'm moving upwards, right? I'm moving up the hill, and this guy could have an amazing height advantage here, but he chooses to retreat backwards. I don't know why he would do that. It doesn't really make much sense to me, personally, because, yeah, sure, okay, fine. You can retreat backwards, and then you can get into a much better defensive location. Yeah, sure, okay, fine. You know, by all means, do that. But it still feels a little bit like a... I don't know, it feels like a bit of a waste, because they could... Well, as I said to you, yeah, that's, yeah. I need to get a better helmet, I guess. I mean, the funny thing is, I think that was literally like 100 and something damage, like 120 damage or something. I don't think a new helmet is going to make any difference. But, where's my corpse, by the way? Oh, there it is. Okay, can we not see? Oh, look at him. He looks so peaceful. Look at him. He's looking so peaceful right now. Yeah, well, unfortunately, he got shot in the head by a javelin. And I certainly wasn't expecting that. I thought to myself, oh, we're going to have a really nice time here. It's going to be great. We're going to see our archers do massive damage. But for some reason, in the last couple of battles, I've literally just gotten one shot. And I guess I should just be a bit more cowardly, shouldn't I? You know? I guess I should just stand at the back and just let my forces do their thing, but I kind of wanted to level up a little bit, you know what I mean? Oh well, never mind. We got 15 renown for that. Obviously, we're not getting any influence at the moment because obviously we don't have the ability to do that. Actually, wait a minute. We are clan tier 3 now, right? I think we are, right? Yeah, I think so. So technically, we do have the ability to create our own faction. So that's going to be very, very helpful. Oh yeah, loads of level ups. Nice, nice, nice. I love that. Okay, so what do we have? Anything else here that we want to take? No. Okay. Here we go. It's time to bury your dead. The frozen ground! The frozen ground! It's not snowing! It's not snowing! It's not even cold! I'm in the desert again! Wow, shit. What's going on there? What's going on there then? Hey, what's going on there? I don't know. It's kind of a bit strange, isn't it? Anyway, so you can give the bodies a hasty burial in a nearby gully. How okay, so wait a second. Apart from the fact that the ground is frozen solid, can I just ask something? How are we going to dig? Hasty burial, I guess. Yeah, hasty burial. So yeah, even though wolves or other animals may find them. Yeah, okay, well, whatever the case, what we're going to do is we're going to increase morale, I guess. I mean, it doesn't really... that doesn't really mean anything, you know, none of that makes any difference whatsoever. Okay, so what I need to do now is I need to find, ideally, some villagers, if at all possible. Are these guys, did they get resupplied, by the way? Yeah, a little bit. Let's get a little bit of food here, thanks very much. I should probably sell my prisoners here as well, technically. I guess I could kind of do that if I wanted to, or we could just leave it. Yeah, maybe. I'll just leave it for the moment. Okay, villagers, come on now. Yes, they are. Okay, I want everything. Thank you very much. You are my prisoner now. Okay, enough talking, now march. There we are. Okay, so we are declaring war against the Azariah. I don't really care about anything else here. I am not going to take any of these horses. Not really a point. And yeah, we are going to go straight on in. Besiege this. This is going to be a little bit problematic because I don't have any engineering skill. I was actually kind of hoping... Wait a minute. Do we not have someone that is actually an engineer? I thought she was an engineer. I cannot perform this action while in a siege? What? Wait a minute. I thought I could change that at any time. No, she has 83. She has 83 in engineering. But the unfortunate thing is we don't have another steward. So unfortunately that means that we are now below. Yeah, so unfortunately we're going to have to deal with the fact that I only have 1 in engineering. We could make Nevig the engineer. Ugh, that is also pretty terrible. No, we're just going to do that ourselves. There we go. Alright, so let's do this. Let's see how this goes. Maybe we'll be okay, considering they only have 4 days worth of food remaining. And then we can go in against the militia, and maybe we'll actually end up achieving victory. As you inspect your siege camp, you come across disgusting evidence that one or more of your men has contracted the bloody flux. And once again, this is the same event that we had previously. So we're going to see what we get here. So obviously, as I said before, these are none of this actually really does much. 5% of your troops. 5% of your troops. That's actually kind of interesting. 5% instead of 3. I think the percentage is much better. 10% of your troops get wounded, and each unit has a 30% chance of dying. I mean, literally, that's actually kind of crazy. Yeah, we'll probably be going with treat your men, but trust in strict preventative measures, and so on and so forth. That's probably going to be the case. There we go. 3 of your troops get wounded. 2 died. Really? 2 actually ended up dying? I'm actually surprised about that. Oh, okay. All right. Well, that's interesting. I literally had a crash. Okay, that's actually very, very surprising. I generally would not expect the base game to crash like this. I have 1 mod currently enabled, apart from Harmony, of course. And the mod that I have is literally something all the way back from like 2020 or something like that. So it's something that should run on pretty much every single version of the game. Very strange. Not sure why this happened. I guess we'll see. But as you could tell, I have all of my trebuchets up and running, or I had all of my trebuchets up and running. The garrison was about to starve out here. Are you actually seeing this even? Yeah, I think you are actually seeing this. Okay, that's good. That's good. Anyway, the point is we had also made it to engineering 25, which would have been pretty nice. There is actually a vassal close by, so I was kind of expecting to be attacked sometime soon. But the walls are going down, the garrison's going down. We had it really, really nicely on lock here, but we're going to have to see when we come back what the situation is. Alright, so here we go. We finally got it ready. Let's see if we can actually achieve victory here. I am a little bit concerned that I might not be able to do this, so I am actually going to convert a couple of prisoners. I'm not sure. They're probably not going to make any difference, let's face it. We got to 42 engineering in the end, by the way, so let's see here. 10% build speed to ranged siege engines. Yes, I will take that. I also have no idea, by the way, why this provides +3 damage to equipped crossbows, but yeah, alright, it's fine. You know, not a problem. Yeah, we're not going to go for scaffolds, obviously. Alright, so we're going to need to play some focus points in engineering at some point as well, because it does look as though we are going for a bit of an intelligence build here. So as you see, we have all of the garrison completely starved out. The militia are the only ones still active here. We do have a power differential. We are indeed stronger than the opponent. So let's go in and see how this goes. I'm hopeful that it will not crash again. I have no idea why it even crashed to begin with. I guess, I mean, it is a beta patch, so I suppose there are going to be some things that might go wrong. Otherwise, we are going to be putting me here. And yeah, that is pretty much it. Alright, let's do this. Okay, so these guys are being told to hold fire. Okay, they are being told to hold fire. I'm not a big fan of that, actually. I'm going to tell them to fire at will, because they're so much better at firing at will. They should be able to eliminate a huge amount of people from the walls themselves. I don't have a shield, just bear that in mind. I do not have a shield, so it may very well be extremely dangerous for me to go inside here by myself. So what I'm going to try to do is I will try to be careful here. Okay, how are we doing? Whoa, this is bad. Okay, oh, this is so bad. Okay, this is not a good idea. Wow, destroyed that guy's shield instantaneously, basically. The amount of damage we can deal with this to shields is actually enormous. So far, things are going okay. Surprisingly, I don't know how that's even happening, but sure, okay. Guess I'm kind of happy about that. Trying to do some damage here. Unfortunately, my weapon is so long, it's very, very difficult to fit it into this extremely tight space. It's very, very difficult there. I will just have to push forward and hope that, you know, things get a little bit easier. Ah, dear, here we go, yeah. This is the kind of problem I was having a bit of a nightmare about here. But no, we should be okay. Oh, they left me alone. Alright, very surprised. Yes. Nice. Oh, shot in the face. Ouch. That hurt. Okay, my forces are actually remarkably good right now for some reason. I'm not sure how that's even happening. My forces need to... you know what? I'm going to tell them to charge. These are so... Sometimes they are so stupid. Like, no offense, but they should not be staying here. They should not be standing here in the bottleneck waiting for all these archers to shoot them. That does not seem like a very good idea. At least to me. There we go. Nice athletics skill increase. Nice. I'm going to get shot here. Yep, I knew that was going to happen. That's fine. We don't really have to worry about that. I think we should be okay. I mean, look at how many kills we've gotten in comparison to the opponent. This is what happens when you take Battanian Fian champions. They have two-handed swords, as you can see here. And their two-handed swords are not actually that long, which means that they can use them in close quarters combat relatively nicely. And you can see that in action right here. I mean, really. And then, obviously, because I took them off, you know, hold fire, they're also firing at opponents as well when they're far away. I feel like Battanian Fian champions are somewhat underrated as siege units, even though, you know, obviously, you know, thinking about it, they're not going to be amazing against a standard garrison. Just bear that in mind. Obviously, against militia, easy, right? Against militia, very, very nice and simple for them to, you know, do this. But when it comes to, you know, standard stuff, no. Probably not a good idea. All right, so we have huge amounts of prisoners. I'm going to be taking all of them, and we're going to be selling them, of course. And then what we're going to do is we are going to create our own faction. So we also... Whoa, we took a bunch of people prisoner? How did we take a bunch of people prisoner? They weren't in the garrison here. That's kind of weird. All right, well, let's show mercy nevertheless. And yeah, let's actually put some money in here, shall we? Let's put some money in here so we can actually get some of this stuff potentially built. I need to sell a bunch of my food as well. I need to trade it back to them, basically. And let's just go here, there, there. I think that's probably good enough, isn't it? I think that's probably decent enough. And now, whoa, 24 trade skill. Wow, that's crazy. Yeah, 24 trade skill. That's pretty cool. All right, so what we're going to do is we are literally just going to sell all the prisoners. There we go. Sell all the prisoners. 4 roguery skill points. Not an exceptional amount, but decent. And then we're just going to literally recruit from here, go into the garrison, and we're just going to place all of the Azurai and various other miscellaneous units in the garrison here. And all I'm going to do is I'm just going to stand here, recruit troops, put them in the garrison, recruit troops, put them in the garrison over and over and over again. And hopefully that's going to make a big difference. Now, what we do need to do, however, is we need to make a governor. So Pelisor is going to be our governor here for the moment. Not a terribly big fan of putting him in here, to be honest, but we are going to have to do that because I need to speak to him to create a faction, obviously, right? So we are going to... Never mind. I thought it was clan tier 3. We need to be clan tier 4. I forgot about that. Oh dear. Well, I've gotten myself into some dramatic situation, which is actually pretty fun. I think that's going to be pretty fun. So, yeah, that means... You know what that means? That means we're going to have the Azurai coming to attack us sometime soon. And I think that's going to be a lot of fun, actually. I think it's cool. I think it's cool. Why not? It might have been a little bit of a mistake on my part, but it's going to be enjoyable, I think. And unless they come over with 1,000 troops. If they come over with 1,000 troops, then it's probably not going to work out too well for us. Anyway, that's going to be it for this episode. I thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you next time.